Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about systems, which is a taboo word in cinematography. Everybody thinks, or they like to think of themselves as cinematographers, as artists, as people that, fly by the seat of their pants and they just feel the images and the artistry comes to them or speaks to them project to project, and they don't have to have a system because that will limit them. When in fact, I see it as quite the opposite. I think a system, which is really just, a set of procedures or principles according to which something is done. Right? So if you're going to be in the same position over and over and over again, why does it pay to have a system? Because it eliminates variables, right? It eliminates things that might come up that you might not have been expecting. If you have a system, you can tick off all of those things that might come up before they happen. So you might make a mistake on set. If you have a system, you might make a mistake. But if you have a system for checking on that to make sure it doesn't happen again, you're not going to make the same mistake twice. And the whole goal of this is to allocate energy as efficiently as possible, both in the pre-production phase and in production, right? That is why you're there. That is the value that you bring to the table, is you're able to maximize the juice that you can get from the squeeze. And the way that you can do that and you can track it is by having a system to decide what is it that I need done in order to be happy, and what are the things that are going to allow me to not do that, right? To invert the problem. If I have a system, the system is there to make me as efficient as possible. Anything that is going to get in the way of that system or is going to harm that system at all is going to make me more inefficient. And I don't want to be inefficient because set and production is a resource poor area, right? These are things that we do not want to waste away because they're hard to get. Well, number one, you can't get them back, and they're hard to get in the first place, right? The responsibilities that are bestowed upon you are to be the steward of that energy that you can then put forth onto set. So a system is what will get you there. A system allows you to double check your own work. You can't imagine another world or another profession where someone would think about growing their skills or improving on their standings inside of that profession by not having a system, right? If you just went and you were you were going to become an athlete in any field, and you thought, I'm going to start working out now to become better. And I'm not going to come up with a plan. I'm just going to go to the gym and I'm going to do whatever feels good on the day. And I'm just going to do the number of sets that feels good, or I'm going to do the exercises that feel good. Over time, would that generate the same or better results than someone that sat down and thought about, what are the things that I need to do in my sport? What are the movements that are important? How do I get better at those movements? Has someone come up with a way for me to get better at those movements that has come before me? Should I do a little bit of research to see what's happened before, or should I just stumble around in the dark, right? It doesn't make any sense. And it's the same with cinematography. Yes, it is artistic, but to get there, to get to a place where you can be artistic, there are so many variables that you can eliminate by having a system, by having an approach, because it will allow you to focus on the things that do matter, because you've already eliminated the vast majority of things that don't by having a system for setting yourself up on the day. So if you want to get good at anything, you have to develop a system to be as efficient as you possibly can with the time and the energy that you allocate to something, right? Of course, can you get good at cinematography just by going on set and shooting time and time again and never ever thinking about it? Maybe, but how long is that going to take you? And in that time between how good you could have gotten with a system and how good you got without one, how much energy did you waste, both in time and in lost income? Because you were, at the beginning, dog shit, and it took you 2 years to be not dog shit, right? If you're shooting every day on set, or you could come up with a system, see what has worked for people in the past, learn how to then use that information on set on the day yourself by communicating with the team around you, build up a system for what you like in the imagery, and you can do that in 6 months, right? That gives you 18 months of increased opportunities for better projects, better results, better relationships with people around you because you operate in a more proficient manner on set. All of these things increase by developing a system. So you can ignore it at your own peril, or yes, does it require more work up front? Yes, absolutely. You have to do homework. But the great thing about cinematography is you're probably not working every day, right? If you're working every day, you probably already have a system. If you're not working every day, that means you have ample time and ample energy to, on your own, do the work that is necessary. Because if you do the work up front, that means you do less on the day. That means you do less as you move farther and farther forward in your career. And it's no surprise that cinematographers get better with age, right? It's no surprise because the systems that they employ get better with age because you're able to run them over again and again and again. And every time you run the system and you encounter a problem, if you have a system, you can incorporate it into the system so that the next time it's not going to happen again. So again, you are hoping to be as efficient as you can with the resources that are afforded to you. And the way that you do that is you come up with a system for where is the best spot to allocate energy in prep, on the production itself, in post-production. All of those things are made better, and you can hold yourself accountable, right? You can hold your team around you accountable if you have a better understanding of expectations that are to be met on each and every project. So it might sound a little bit counterintuitive at first that this artistic endeavor that is cinematography and making pictures with the help of other people around you, with collaboration, might be beneficial to have a system. But I think it absolutely pays dividends, both in the time that you save in going from being not very good to having a really strong grasp, but also being able to communicate that with a team around you, knowing what to say, when to say it, to then get the best results possible. So I would, even if it's not the framework, which is the system that I've developed, just on my own, thinking what things are necessary for me, working backwards, inverting the issue and saying, well, what are the things that get in the way of those things? Even if it's not the framework, it has nothing to do with everything that we talk about on the channel or on the podcast. Make your own system that works for you, whatever your tastes are, because you will face the same setups again and again and again. And if you don't have a system, they won't look familiar. Right? If you don't have a way of viewing the problems that you are faced with on set on a daily basis, they're all going to look foreign to you all the time, which means you're going to have to do all the work, every single setup, which is much more work than you should be doing. Right? You shouldn't be doing much. You should have done the hard work early on. And that hard work gets easier and easier every project if you do have a system. Right? Again, front load the work early in your career to make it easier as you progress. And hopefully that helps.